Hi there, my name is Courtney and I am the Community Manager for Social Curator, and I'm so happy that you're here for another episode of the Jasmine Star Show. Today's episode is a really juicy Ask Me Anything that Jasmine hosted on Facebook Live. Y'all, the business owners who hung out with us live showed up with amazing questions about captions on Reels, should you do stories, how to avoid business regret, what to do when people rip you off, and so much more. I love this conversation and I have a funny feeling you will too. Let's listen in.
Hi, and welcome to another weekly edition of Ask Me Anything. This is our opportunity to connect over commonly asked business questions so that we get scale what we're learning together. If you happen to be watching this during the live recording, feel free to leave your business questions in the chat so that we can create conversations and create connections. So, I have a question. And this is just going to reveal the geek side of me. I am looking for book recommendations. So I show up to answer your questions. But before I do that, I want to ask you a question. What is your favorite book? I am finishing a book that is it's like literally taking it from me. I'm probably going to do a singular Instagram or Facebook post about this book because it's just leaving me breathless. So I'm on the edge of that one. I would love to know a recommendation, and let's all crowdsource book recommendations. Let's dive into our Q&A. Sarah asked, how important are captions on Reels? Should all or most of the info you want to convey be in the reel itself, or should the caption go more in depth and expand on the information in the reel? So we'll start off with a couple things that I really want to address when it comes to creating content, period. If we're talking about reels, stories, photo posts, videos, TikToks, this is the one thing that I need everybody to know is that there's not a right or wrong. I do not want to come out and say that if you post a reel, you definitely need a long caption to augment the information in the reel. Now, I also don't want to say if you have a reel, you don't really need a caption at all. It really depends on, number one, what you think your dream customer wants to see. And is that person going to be reading a caption? And then number two, sometimes I create reels that I feel do a great job at entertaining or educating, but I feel like I need to add extra information to connect the dots. So what I'm going to advise anybody and everybody to do would be to give yourself the permission to test. At the time of this recording, I posted a reel, and this reel I've mentioned before in the past, but I'll say it again, that when it comes to creating content, specifically as we're creating reels, I want to focus on 3 categories of ease. I want to educate, entertain, or empower. Now, today's reel, I posted something that I think would be a little bit entertaining. It's myself, my husband, who's also my business partner. It was a very short reel, and it was a little bit of a play on words. And I don't think I needed to have this very long caption. So the caption is very short. Now, the reel before that, it was the 3 things to not do on Instagram. I listed the 3 things that people should not do on Instagram in the reel itself, but I felt like I needed something a little bit more positive and then list things that people should be doing. So in that caption, I went a little bit deeper, but here I am testing the content to make sure that I'm reaching the audience in the way they want to work. So I'm always looking for the correlations. I'm always looking how can I adapt? If I see that it's an entertaining reel, chances are I don't really need a long caption. If I'm trying to educate or if I'm trying to promote an aspect of my business, then maybe adding a longer caption on that might make more sense for my audience. But again, just like you, Sarah, you and I, we're always going to remain testing. And Sarah, shout out, because I know you're a social curator. I recognize your name, and I saw you in the collaboration live class yesterday. You are showing up. You're a real OG. All right, let's get into another question. This is content types. Mia asked, I'm so confused. Reels, live, stories, every site has so many add-ons now. What are the differences? How long do they last? What are the pros and cons? So Mia and anybody else who is feeling a tad bit overwhelmed with all the things and all the ways, I don't want to add to more of the overwhelm, but I have to let you know that TikTok announced they are adding stories to their platform. So I find it particularly interesting that TikTok is coming real hard for Instagram. They're trying to have the same features that Instagram has because Instagram is ripping off TikTok and TikTok will be ripping off Snapchat and Instagram. So What I think is going to be important is to, number one, realize you do not have to be on every social platform. Now, I know that when you are looking at when you're looking at your platforms, you really want to assess what kind of content is available. So on Instagram, you can have a photo, a video, but two forms of video, an IGTV or something less than 60 seconds, reels, stories, or lives. Now, that is what exists on Instagram. Now on Facebook, you can have stories, upload videos, live videos, photos. On TikTok, you have your TikToks, your live, your stories. On LinkedIn, some people can go live videos, but videos only up to 10 minutes. So there's all these little caveats. Instead of getting overwhelmed, what I'm going to encourage somebody to do is to pick one platform that they believe your dream customer is on. So you can pick one platform that you think your dream customer is on, and then figure out what kind of content you want to post there. I want you to consider your ideal client. What is their preferred platform and what is their preferred content type? I have seen countless conversations about people who say, I just hate reels. I hate that Instagram has reels. I don't like watching reels. If you happen to be a business owner and you know your audience is not about reels, they just don't like them, guess what? Don't feel any pressure to create those reels. If you have an audience that is just loving your reels, like I have seen the most powerful outcomes. There are business owners with like 800 followers and then they're getting 9,000 views on a reel. That's incredible. So your audience is going to speak to you. But before you say, no, I don't like creating reels. I don't care. From business owner to business owner, I don't care what you like. I am more concerned if you want to grow your business, what does your audience like? And then you want to give them what they want. Ideally, and this is what I'll say, is just go back to one of the answers that I had just given, which is to test your content. But the best way we can test is to give the algorithm inventory. So inventory is basically a post that you put together. Now, there are different types of inventory: stories, lives, reels, videos. The more that you can give the algorithm different types of inventory, the more that it could test with your followers in different ways to see what people are responding to. So, Mia, do not get overwhelmed. Focus on one platform and then test what you could possibly be doing. One platform is not better than another. Just because Facebook or Instagram has like billions of users, it doesn't mean that you are wasting time if you're focusing only on LinkedIn. If your audience, if your customer is primarily on LinkedIn, that is the best use of your time, and do not let anybody tell you otherwise. Okay, let's go to Gabrielle Kelly. What are the most important things to do on social to regain momentum after a break? Number one, Gabrielle, don't worry. You're right on time. You don't need to do anything other than post consistently. That's it. What you're doing right now with the algorithm is you're serving up inventory to start re-engaging your audience. If you're posting and you're not seeing engagement and you're like, it's because I was on hiatus, I took a break, I went on vacation, whatever the reason is, if you're not seeing that engagement and you're posting consistently, then what I would do is I would go to your followers list and just start sending DMs to your followers. That's it. Just, hey, dropping a note. Just want to say thanks for being connected on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever the case may be. I just want to say thanks for connecting here. And lo and behold, when somebody responds to your message, it is an indication to the algorithm that that person wants to see more of your content. So the next time that person logs into an app, there's a higher likelihood that they're going to see your content. And if there's a higher likelihood that they see your content and then they remember that you and them were DMing, there's a higher likelihood of them liking or commenting. And that's exactly what you want to get the momentum back. It's like how Stella got her groove back, but for social media. You're welcome. Mandy, I feel weird talking to myself on camera. Any tips or advice? Well, I'm going to start off with my truth. At this very moment of me talking into a camera on my laptop, I feel very weird. I also feel awkward and I feel a twinge bit stupid. But I'm going to continue doing it because the only way that I ever feel less awkward, less stupid, or less weird is by doing it more. And so, Mandy, my advice to you is before you go on camera, talk to yourself in the mirror And I don't mean it like, oh, talk to yourself in the mirror for like 30 seconds. So talk to yourself as if you're giving a presentation. Anytime that I give a new presentation, I stand in front of a mirror and I watch my body, I watch my face, I remind myself I should try to like pleasantly smile, and it helps you form your words. Very much so. If you are also like, oh, I'm awkward live on camera, it is okay for you to have a Post-it note with your key points and tape it or like adhere it to like the wall or the window next to your phone and look at your notes. It is totally acceptable. It is totally cool, and it's something you should do. So practice in front of a mirror and then just continue showing up, because the only way that you become comfortable is by doing it again and again. Let's dive into another one of the questions that was asked by Nancy. Nancy says, what is one thing you wished you would have done sooner? Okay, so I have to say that I could, while I might be tempted to look back and think about all the things I could have, would have, should have, I should probably just come out and say that my truth is, and what I firmly believe is that it all happens for you, and everything happened for me. Like, what do I wish happened sooner? Well, I could say, I wish I dropped out of law school sooner. I wish I didn't even apply to law school. I wish I would have started my business sooner. I wish I would have invested sooner. I wish I would have bet on me sooner. I could say all of those things, and yet I am not going to say any of those things. I believe that it happened in the perfect timing, that had I not gone to law school, I might not have a reckoning. Had I started my business sooner, I might not be where I am today. Had I asked for investments in a different capacity, my business might not be where it is today. I'm not going to spend any energy thinking about a pretend alternate universe if I had started different or had started sooner. I believe that we could release the fear, because there are no mistakes. There's just lessons and learning opportunities. And I know that that sounds super, super cheesy. Like, does it sound like I'm the kind of person who watches like endless Hallmark Christmas movies? Like, word to the wise, I don't watch Bachelor in Paradise. I don't watch Hallmark Christmas specials. It's like I have a black heart. So it's crazy for me to just sit here and say like, there's no failure, there's just lessons. But like, I really believe it. I really believe that as the founder of Social Curator, there are things that we're going through right now that like, it feels like I got punched in the gut. Like again and again and again. There are things that I say in meetings with other companies and business owners that afterwards I realize you sounded so stupid. You sounded like you didn't know what you were talking about. There are times where I have pitched what Social Curator does to another company for integration, and then I get ghosted. Like, there is a company, I'm not going to spill the tea. There is a company who said that they were going to do X with Social Curator, and we were all about it. We were excited. And then we got ghosted. And then I kind of sort of believe that this company's going to try to do what Social Curator's doing. Y'all, I could look back to a conversation I had last month and I wish I didn't have that call. I wish I didn't reach out to them. I wish I didn't show them what Social Curator does. And you want to know what? With all of my heart, hand to heaven, I will say I'm so happy I had that call for two reasons. Number one, try to do what we do. I dare anybody to try to do what Social Curator does. We have spent years breaking our backs to try to find the system, and somebody wants to get started right now. Honey, you're going to try to catch up to where we are, and we're already living in the future. So good luck. And then number two, I believe that competition is a good thing. If what I suspect is true and this other company is going to try to do what Social Curator does, they're going to push us to innovate faster, because they are funded, millions of dollars in funding. We are completely bootstrapped. They are a company that's 5, 6, 7 times bigger than we are. We're smaller, but we can innovate and pivot faster. So I don't want to sound like super swaggy, but bring it on. I'm not afraid, and I refuse to live in a place of regret. And I say that having realized that for many years in my career, I would beat myself up for mistakes I didn't even know I was making. The me who I am today, 10 years ago, would say, you're so stupid. You shouldn't have shown them what you guys do. You shouldn't have reached out to them. You should have flown under the radar. And now what I say is, ooh, okay, maybe not the best move. to invite them to a call, but I'm going to give myself grace and believe that everything is happening for me. Nothing is happening to me. Everything is happening for us. I hope that you say the same thing as you continue to build your business, as you continue to have conversations that turn into somebody else's opportunities, as you continue to build out your own competition, because competition makes you better. Melanie says, if we stop posting in stories for a day or two, does that affect the algorithm on how many people see your upcoming stories? No. The frequency in how somebody is seeing your stories is based off engagement. So for instance, Melanie, let's say you post on Monday and you post 4 stories on Monday, and one of your followers looks at your first story and then swipes away. That is indicating to the algorithm that they don't want to see the rest of your 3 stories. That's an impression on the algorithm indicating what their behavior is. If you decide to come back after being away for a week and post on stories, the person who swiped away from your stories is least likely to see your next stories. But the person who that previous Monday had watched story 1, 2, 3, and 4, the next time they log into the app, they may or may not see your stories earlier in their feed based on how they were engaging with your previous stories. I hope that makes sense. Okay, what is the most important discipline you engage with daily for your business? I would say it's direct messages. I think that staying on top of messaging with people, there's so many opportunities that come your way by way of direct messages, but also it's a really great way to stay connected with people and let them know that you're a real person. It's very often, at minimum, once a day, somebody will send me a message and say like, Jasmine, I know that this isn't you, it's a social media manager, but dear social media manager, can you tell Jasmine, like, thanks for today's podcast or something like that? And then sometimes like I'll send them like a selfie and be like, bro, it's me. Or I'll send them a voice memo. I think that builds real and authentic relationships. I think that that's very, very, very important for us to develop with followers. But also on today's podcast, if you haven't listened to the podcast, The Jasmine Star Show, it's very often that I will embed certain code words that like, oh, if you're a podcast listener, send me a direct message with this code word. That way I know what episode you watched. And it's so crazy that people will listen to a podcast episode, send me back the code word, and they're still not sure if I'm going to respond. But listen, if you listen to the Jasmine Star Show and then you take the time to send a direct message with the code word, like nothing would make my heart explode even more. Of course I'm going to respond to you. So the discipline that I think really moves the needle in my business would be spending time with my direct messages. Michael asked, is Social Curator still open to join or their enrollment periods? Michael, you are more than welcome to join today and here after, and we decided as a thank you gift to people who are joining that we are going to extend a free complimentary issue. So you join Social Curator and you get what we call our BOGO issue. It's the buy one, get one issue. So you're getting 2 issues. You're getting the issue that belongs to this month. You're getting the specific BOGO issue. And that's 2 issues for the price of 1. So I would love to see you on the inside, Michael. I appreciate it. Okay, friends, every week I pop in, I create live videos. We have conversations about what it means to grow our business. And like always, these chats are never derived by me. These chats are driven entirely by you. Every day before we go live, there is a post that says, leave me questions. I would love to answer them. If there are no questions there, I have no way to create this live. So please, I want to say thank you for taking the time to leave your questions. For people who are watching live and leaving your questions, I want to say thank you for being here live and continuing this conversation. And for people who are watching this on a replay or watching it on YouTube or watching it on LinkedIn, thank you for being on those platforms. And please know that there's always a singular way to stay connected with me. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great and beautiful and blessed day. Have a good one, friends.
Welcome back, friend. Yes, you heard that right. Social Curator is open for enrollment. That means you can head to socialcurator.com/join to start your subscription today. With that subscription, you're going to receive monthly caption templates, lifestyle photos, Instagram story templates, and basically any resource you might need to market your business on social media. Again, that's socialcurator.com/join. We hope to see you on the inside, but until then, go out and have a wonderful day. Bye, friends.